Previously on the documentary.
General and continue the document. Hello! It's an oblong fruit tree! No! I'm an oblong fruit. Goodbye! The victory, the completion.
Welcome back to the House of Clive.
Yes, dear. Well, as you can see, I seem to have awoken from what seemingly was just a dream. Yes, dear. Otherwise known as the cranial imagination. There was no oblong fruit mask, otherwise known as the conveniently placed antagonist. Everything seems to be okay, and therefore Tokn probably will lie back on the bed, otherwise known as the reversal of the shot, and go back to sleep, the opposite of awake. Stand by!
Hello, I'm a garment. The silence!
There seems to be a strange humanoid presence above me, floating, not by dental floss, no, by some form of invisible force, otherwise known as floss. Who are you? The question. Yes, dear.
I'm the oblong fruit spook.
I do seem to have brought out a segment or a fragment of that oblong fruit from said dream in the wooded area in which I got lost. Yeah! What I'm going to do is gently rotate my head 90 degrees, like so, and ask this iteration of the oblong fruit a question. Hello?
Yeah.
Ooh, it speaks.
I'm an instruction.
Yeah. It seems to be telling me to perform a supernatural ritual, otherwise known as a seance. I ask that you please join me in journeying to the east wing of the House of Clive. Yes, dear. I've decided that emerging from the cupboard and exiting this particular section of the movie to move on to the next part of the plot is far better. Now, as you can see, I seem to have emerged in the east wing of the House of Clive, otherwise known as the Seance Suite. Yes, dear. The spirits. Yes. Now, if you look around the room, you will see various artifacts and memorabilia. Are you gonna go to the shop with me? You know that me and Clive like a fruity sweet. Yes! Now, as you can see, I seem to have emerged underneath the altar, otherwise the seance room. Reset everything in the room before I discover a conveniently placed Ouija board. Now, if you look over here, you will actually see a very, very old Victorian / Tudorian style Ouija board. That's right, the Clee. It has been carved from the timberman of Wasp, the town in which we live in. Now, yes, I now need to channel the oblong fruit spook ghoul, being or goblin, and ask for some sort of material, the heart-shaped vessel or vessel, to actually perform the seance. Otherwise, we cannot move forwards with, the plot.
Tokn, him, clears the obstruction.
Now, if you look here, I seem to have a piece, otherwise known as the vessel, conveniently shaped like a house, otherwise known as the House of Oblong Fruit.
Tokn, him, summons the oblong fruit spook.
What do I do next? The direction.
I'm a fruity sweet.
I'm a fruity sweet. Now, as you can see, I have been thrashed by an invisible force to the symbol, the opposite. I need to move my House of Clive over to the opposite, which means, yes, dear, the genre. B, otherwise known as the opposite of Eve. A, otherwise known as yes, dear. P, H. Have you completed your answer to my question? Yes. I have been told by the oblong fruit to go into the bar. Yes, dear.
Let's go to the shop to wash. I'm not ashamed. Tokn is in the bar as instructed by the oblong fruit spook. You can also see that the bar, otherwise known as tub, is conveniently filled with coloured water to mark the festive season, otherwise known as Halloween. Yes, dear.
The aquatic observation. Yeah.
It's a pumpkin patch. Yes, dear. The pumpkin patch, the eyes, the spooks. Let's go!
Now, as you can see, I have emerged into the garden area where there seems to be some form of storm taking place. Notice the swaying from side to side. It is the weather system, microfish. Now, I'm going to make my way over to the pumpkin patch, otherwise known as the natural formation of vegetation, and get the biggest pumpkin as advised. Stand by!
Tokn, him, approaches the vegetation.
Stand by! Yes, it is precipitation. Yes. Stand by! I've been asked to take the biggest one. Now, Now, as you can see, I have made my way back into the kitchen area, and as a necessity to the exorcism of the oblong fruit ghost, otherwise known as the elixir spook fruit, I now need to concoct a very specific concoction of potion in order to make the elixir spook fruit ghoul of the movie, to make it all go away and go back to normal, so that Tokn, me, can continue putting together a very, very important exclusive members only package, which I shall be releasing to the Wasp you soon. Yeah. But first, let us make the concoction, otherwise known as the potion. Now, as you can see, I have gathered a mushroom from the garden of mush rile. We need to cut the mush rile into specific segments. Yeah, that's right. I'm a chef! Now, we take this mushroom, crumble it into the pot, otherwise known as the cauldron, and then smear in a ritualistic way the cranium. Then we take the crumb, mix them in. Now, if you look into the cauldron, you will see that nothing at the moment takes up much room. We are now going to progress this ritual to the next step. Now, as you can see here, I have taken a pumpkin from the garden, otherwise known as the stormy area of greenery. The dial, just do a cut segment. No food goes to waste in the house of Clyde. Take my cauldron and just gently pour. As you can see, the green blood, otherwise known as the greenoglobin, specifically from the pumpkin patch. This is natural blood from the vein of a pumpkin. Now you can see that this is going into the cauldron, and this will be our base for our cooling or jus. Yes, dear. Cut up like so. Pumpkin, otherwise known as pump. Therewith, it is important to get all sorts of fruit in there for nutrition. Ingest nutrients. Vitamin cloud. Yes, dear. The giblets. Don't be alarmed! Now, as you can see, we now have our primordial group, a few more final ingredients, and then make our offering to the elixir's fruit spook. Yes, dear. I don't live in Shropshire. The moisture. Yeah. The spice. By adding heat, the flame element, to the potion, Tokn me has in fact beaten the elixir's spook fruit, and I can go back to my normal day-to-day activity. Sleep, sleep, sleep.